Election stakeholders in the country have called for the persecution of persons found guilty of perpetrating violence during the last general elections to serve as a deterrent to others who may want to do the same in the future. They make this known during a national dialogue held in Abuja, which was aimed at demanding accountability for documented violence perpetuated during the 2023 general elections. The event, which was organized by the Global Right, had submission of several reports on cases of violence across the country during the elections. Participants says this act can affect the results negatively.
We should be worried about mass atrocity anytime, at any point in time. And we should particularly be worried about it during elections because of the role that elections play. They are the mechanism for us to choose and select our leaders. Now, if incidences of violence would be to such a scale as to make it difficult for people to have free choice, to make free choice, then we should be seriously worried about it in terms of what impact it's going to have on governance and on the choice of leaders. So perhaps we should also start doing, investing in actually, even if it means hacking, getting these reports and pushing them out into the public space so that we can name and shame people. And then we can concentrate on a few persons and say, justice must be done in this case, and unless justice is done, that we are not moving from this case.
The kind of atrocities we see and we documented in that report definitely affects the quality of governance, definitely affects the kind of governance that Nigerians get. And in fact, we documented that this has been happening from at least 1999. In fact, as far back as 1964, where elections started becoming violent in this country. And we saw that in the military era, right, and in the first and second and third republics, anytime that we had violent elections where the will of the people was suppressed, anytime we had those elections, it led almost immediately to military coups that basically truncated democracy. We saw it in 64, that led to the coup in 66. We saw it in 83, that led to the coup thereafter. We saw it, we keep seeing this happen. It's a pattern where whenever elections are compromised, people who openly use hate speech as a vehicle in the election were rewarded with political appointments. People who profiled ethnic groups, people who asked that people do not vote, people who put their voices, their images and their names to divisive statements and media propaganda, they were not even invited by the police. So we see this consistently. If you want to stop this cycle of violence, the cycle of hate speech, the cycle of fake news, the cycle of reducing our elections to warfare, if you want to stop this cycle, then you must identify those who perpetrated these crimes and you must hold them to account.
Issues of atrocities that we witnessed at the last elections are still left hanging. Perpetrators of those atrocities are still walking freely on the streets without any questioning or being brought to account for the atrocities. We are writing the letter with copies of this report attached to all the relevant institutions and even the presidency, drawing their attention to these reports and then urging them to take action where is required. So both the presidency, the Inspector General of Police, the DSS, INEC, and everyone who has a role to play in addressing these issues.